Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is MazezRealm once again, and welcome to another episode of my series, Keys to Success. Now, this episode is actually going to be a really special and unique episode because I'm not only going to be dissecting my gameplay in this match on Raid here, but I'm also going to be dissecting the gameplay of Marcolinth, who was also in the match with me. And the reason why I wanted to dissect two gameplays back to back is because I wanted to talk about complementing your teammates' loadouts in Black Ops 2. And I know that sounds like a very generic statement and probably difficult to do because you might be playing with a bunch of randoms. But obviously this commentary is based more on when you're playing together with another friend of yours or a full team, and when you are about to start the match, you know, basically giving you tips on what loadouts will complement your teammates' loadouts so that you can dominate in a match in Black Ops 2, and particularly in Team Deathmatch, as we are playing that mode on this particular episode. So without further ado, I'll jump right into the loadout that I'm using and how it complemented Marcolinth's loadout, who, as I mentioned before, is also in this match with me. So the loadout that I'm using here is the Sega 12 shotgun. Now, it's also known as the S12 in game, for those of you who don't know, but that is the shotgun that I'm using here. I'm using it with fast mags and the long barrel, if I remember correctly, and I have C4 for my equipment and the Cap 40 machine pistol as my secondary on this particular loadout. I don't remember the exact perks that I'm using on the loadout, but those aren't as important. They're basically just based on, you know, your personal preference. And if you are wanting to see a more detailed you know, description of loadouts and things like that, you can watch my Arsenal series that I also have on my channel as well. But regardless, let me talk a little bit about what I did in order to complement Marcolinth's loadout here. Obviously, when you're using a shotgun in Black Ops 2, you want to seal off all of the short, close quarters areas of the map. That goes without saying, but you really want to make sure that you navigate in those areas of the map so that your teammates that have a loadout that concentrates a little bit more on long range or medium range engagements can actually dominate those portions of the map. And that way, your entire team seals off the sections of the map at the same time, and it really gives the enemy team a really hard time of doing well on the map, and the match in general as well. And the whole reason for doing this is to obviously get a win very easily on the enemy team. And in order to do that, you have to complement your teammates' loadouts, no matter if they're randoms or if they are buddies that you're partied up with. And a good way to know is you don't have to ask each individual player in the lobby what they're using, but you can tell right off the bat when you spawn in and they're running forward what loadout they're using, and then, you know, you can always change your class on the fly whenever you die if you're not complementing your teammates' loadouts. Now, Marcolinth was using a sniper rifle on this particular gameplay. So right off the bat when we started off on this match, I made sure to have him overlook the long sightlines so that I could run to the short, close quarters areas of the map protected by him, and then I could engage the enemy at close quarters and he could engage the enemy at long range. And it worked out really beautifully for the entirety of this match, as you can see here. I mean, I was going ham, and you'll see the gameplay on his you know, point of view, and you'll be able to see that he had a little bit of a rough start in the beginning of the match, but he ended up really going ham and doing really well on the match as well. And that's how you can really complement each other's team, each other's loadouts, I should say, and really do well on a match. So now back to the gameplay. You see here that I am still navigating this spawn area in the garage with my shotgun, and it's working out really well because I'm just limiting myself to close quarters combat. And when it's a little bit more medium range, I switch to my Cap 40 and then put those shots down target to kill those enemies that are a little bit farther away and out of my shotgun's reach. So now you see that we're actually getting close to the end of the match, and we're about to get a victory here in a short few seconds. And you'll see that my teammates actually end up getting the final kills, which gave us the victory right there at the end of the match. So it was overall a really good match for me with the Sega on Raid. And now we're just transitioning over to Marcolinth's gameplay. He's using the DSR-50 sniper rifle, and I really couldn't tell you what attachments he's got on his sniper rifle or perks, but it seems to me like he's got the laser sight and the ballistic CPU on the DSR-50 from what I can see here on screen. But you can immediately see that I ran up ahead of him and he sniped the guys that were so far away from me that I couldn't reach him, but he covered my ass from really long range while I was actually running in the close quarters areas of the map, as I mentioned before, and was taking out the enemy's close quarters. Now, since Marcolinth is a better player than I am, he is actually a lot more prone to actually getting into those medium and close quarters gunfights with his sniper rifle, because he's actually a pretty good sniper in this game. And as you can see here, his shots are really on point, and sometimes he gets a little cocky and gets killed, but who doesn't get killed in this game, you know? I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in this game that you can't control, but you can see here that he was doing a really good job of holding down not only the long sight lines with me, but also the close quarters sight lines as well. And right here is a really good example of how he is sealing off the long sight lines on the map Raid and just really taking out these enemies at medium to long range and doing a very good job of doing that. Sometimes he got a little bit gangbanged there because I was not close enough to cover him at every instance of this game, but he made do and did a good job of killing people at long range and even medium range. So it's really impressive to watch Marcolinth's gameplay. I mean, you can learn a whole lot by watching Marcolinth play, because he is just a really good player, and not just a really good player, but an excellent player and an elite player. As I mentioned before, he's almost got a 3 kill death ratio on this game, and I almost have a 2.0 kill death ratio. So our differences are really big, but if we complement each other's loadouts like we did in this match, where I picked a close quarters class and he picked a long range class, we ended up really dominating in this match, and it actually really helped our teammate out, and our teammates I should say, because there were more than one random here, and they started to feed off of our you know, gameplay and our ability to hold off the areas of the map and actually do well themselves. So we gave them good spawns, we gave them good intel, and they ended up doing a lot of hard work and actually came up clutch at the end. And you also notice here that Marco was able to get his lower kill streaks and pick them up safely because our teammates were holding off the rest of the choke points on the map, and you could clearly see that it was really paying off on this match here on Raid. I mean, Raid is a really unique map in that you can use a sniper rifle, you can use an assault rifle, you can use a submachine gun, and you can use a shotgun and do well depending on how you navigate through the map. And I hope that by you seeing Marcolinth's gameplay and my gameplay, you'll see how even though we were clearly using two completely different classes that are basically polar opposites of each other, you can see how you can still play the same match and do well. And that's what the whole reason for Keys to Success is. That's the whole reason for this series, is to make you guys better players no matter what loadout you decide to equip, on what map you decide to equip it on. And that's why it's really important to really pay attention to how Marcolinth plays and how I play in order to do well on Black Ops 2. Now, you clearly see that we aren't superhuman players. I mean, unfortunately for Marcolinth on that particular portion of the match there, he threw a care package and it fell off the map, and so he couldn't really pick it up. But it didn't stop him from doing really well in this match. And as I mentioned before, no matter how good of a player you are in Black Ops 2, something bad will always happen to you in a match. And you also have to keep in mind that no matter what happens to you in a match, you can actually come back from your mistakes, do well, overcome those mistakes, and get a win. So don't let 1 or 2 or 3 stupid mistakes in the match define how you will do in that match. Just be sure to be confident in your own ability and be very pervy to the fact that you can make a mistake, but you shouldn't define your gameplays and your ability to do well in a match by your mistakes. It's something really important, and it's something that I hope you guys learned from watching my gameplay and watching Marcolinth's gameplay on this episode of Keys to Success. Now, I will be sure to put Marcolinth's channel information at the end of the video, so be sure to stay tuned all the way through the credits so that you can see all of the stuff that went into making this episode for you guys. So without further ado, I'll jump right into my outro here. If you want to watch the previous episode of Keys to Success, you can do that by clicking on the annotation there on your screen. Also, watch my previous episode of The Arsenal, another really successful series on my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can do that by clicking on the top right there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that by hovering over the Twitter icon there on the top left. And if you want to see the rest of my content on my channel, you can do that by clicking on the MazezRealm icon there on the bottom of your screen. Now, moving right along to Marcolinth's channel information, be sure to check out his channel. I'll be sure to put his information there on the screen for you so you can go directly to his channel. And as always, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. This has been MazezRealm. I am out.